You bought the AI tool. You rolled it out to the team. Some people are getting great results. Others are getting garbage, and nobody can explain why. The tool is the same. The data is the same. The difference is the person typing the prompt. That is not a technology problem. That is an operations problem. And right now, it is invisible to most leadership teams. This is the CEO AI Playbook, built for business owners and operators who are serious about making AI work inside their companies. This video is for any leader who has deployed an AI tool and is not seeing consistent results across the team. The core question is this: is prompt quality a personal skill your employees figure out on their own, or is it a business asset you design, standardize, and manage? The answer to that question determines whether AI becomes a competitive advantage for your company or just an expensive habit. That is not a technology problem. That is an operations problem. And right now, it is invisible to most leadership teams. Here is what is actually happening in most businesses right now. A company adopts an AI tool. Could be a writing assistant, a research tool, a customer communication platform, anything with a chat interface. They do a quick onboarding session, maybe 30 minutes. Then they hand it to the team and say, "Go use it." What happens next is completely predictable. A small number of employees, usually the curious ones, the early adopters, start experimenting. They figure out how to ask good questions. They learn to give the tool context, constraints, and clear direction. They start getting outputs they can actually use. The rest of the team tries it a few times, gets mediocre results, decides it is not that useful, and mostly stops. 6 months later, leadership looks at adoption metrics and thinks the tool is underperforming. Maybe they blame the vendor. Maybe they cancel the subscription. Maybe they go looking for a better tool. But the problem was never the tool. The problem is that prompt quality was left entirely to individual initiative, and in most organizations, individual initiative is not a reliable process. This is the silent AI adoption failure. It does not show up in a dashboard. It shows up in inconsistent work product, missed efficiency gains, and a growing gap between your best AI users and everyone else. Let's break down what is actually going on. AI language tools do not read minds. They respond to instructions. The quality of those instructions, the prompt, determines almost everything about the output. A vague prompt produces a vague output. A well-structured prompt with context, a clear goal, a defined format, and real constraints produces a useful output. Here is a concrete example. 2 employees need to summarize a client meeting and draft follow-up talking points. Employee A types, "Summarize my meeting notes." They get a 2-sentence paragraph that restates the obvious. Employee B types something like, "You are a senior account manager. Here are my meeting notes from a client call. Summarize the 3 key concerns the client raised, identify any commitments we made, and draft 5 follow-up talking points in a professional but direct tone." They get something they can send to leadership in 5 minutes. Same tool, same meeting, completely different value. Now multiply that gap across your entire team, every day, across every function: sales, operations, finance, customer service, HR. The cumulative difference in output quality and time savings is enormous. But it is invisible because it lives inside individual workflows that leadership never sees. Here is what leaders also miss. Prompts encode knowledge. A well-crafted prompt for a sales follow-up email is not just a prompt. It captures what your best salesperson knows about tone, the customer relationship, the deal stage, and the desired outcome. That is institutional knowledge. When that knowledge lives only in one person's head or in their personal notes, it disappears when they leave. When it is standardized as a company prompt template, it becomes a reusable asset. The business owners who are winning with AI right now are not just using better tools. They are treating prompt design as a core process, the same way they treat SOPs, scripts, and playbooks. So what does a smart leader actually weigh here? First, the cost of doing nothing. If your team is using AI inconsistently, you are not getting inconsistent results. You are getting inconsistent strategy. Sales reps sending AI-drafted emails that sound nothing like each other. Operations reports with no common structure. customer communications that vary wildly in tone and quality. That inconsistency has a cost. It just does not show up on a line item. Second, the build versus delegate question. Someone has to design the prompts that become your company's standards. That is not an IT job, and it is not an admin job. It requires someone who understands the workflow, the desired output, and the business context. In most companies, that means department leads, with oversight from leadership. Third, the governance question. Once you have standard prompts, how do they get updated? AI tools change. Business needs change. A prompt that works today may need revision in 3 months. This is not a one-time project. It is a lightweight but ongoing process. Fourth, the risk question. Standardized prompts reduce one kind of risk, output inconsistency. But poorly designed prompts can create a different risk. Teams following a bad template blindly, or prompts that inadvertently include confidential information in tools that are not cleared for that data. Designing your prompts well means thinking about what goes in, not just what comes out. The bottom line for any leader is this: leaving prompt quality to individual initiative is a choice. It is just not usually a conscious one. The companies that treat prompts as managed business assets will pull ahead of those that treat AI as a personal productivity toy. Here is the actual playbook. 5 steps in order. Step 1. Audit your current AI usage. Before you standardize anything, find out what is actually happening. Ask your team to show you the prompts they use most. You will immediately see the gap between your best users and everyone else. Step 2. Identify your highest value use cases. Do not try to standardize everything at once. Pick 3 to 5 workflows where AI output quality directly affects business results. Client communications, sales outreach, ops reporting, whatever is most critical to you. Start there. Step 3. Build your first prompt templates with your best AI users. Your power users already have informal prompts that work. Document them. Formalize them. Add structure, the role, the context, the goal, the format. That becomes your starting library. Step 4. Assign prompt ownership. Every department that uses AI should have someone responsible for maintaining and improving the team's prompt library. This does not have to be a full-time role. It just has to be someone's job, not nobody's job. Step 5. Build a lightweight review cycle. Quarterly is usually enough. Review which prompts are being used, which are being ignored, and which need updating. Treat this the same way you treat an SOP review. That is it. Audit, prioritize, build, assign ownership, review. 5 steps that turn AI from a personal habit into an operational system. The takeaway is simple. Your AI results are only as good as the instructions your team gives it. And right now, most businesses are leaving that entirely to chance. If you want to fix that, we have put together a business prompt library starter kit. 25 role-specific prompt templates across sales, ops, finance, and HR, ready to adapt to your business. Drop prompts in the comments and we will send it your way. The link is also in the description. Prompts in the comments. Prompt quality is not a personal skill your team either has or does not. It is a system you build. And now you know how to start.